So here's a piece of understanding that we have not defined this clearly before. Your question really asks for it in a strong way. You're going to like this. So you understand the concept of the grid? Sort of makes sense. That I've got this vibrational basis, and when I step into my full power, everything goes better. So here I am, feeling good. And I'm thinking about something that's way out there. Maybe the birth of babies that haven't even been conceived yet, or a relationship and I haven't even met the person yet, or a business that I will have someday that I have not even established yet or prepared for yet. Something way out there in my future. Well, the further out there it is, the more it behooves you to be general about it. Because when you try to be specific about something that you don't have information about, you just get frustrated. It makes you feel lacking. So the more general you are, such as, oh, it's going to be great. I'm going to live happily ever after. I'm so looking forward to things falling into place. I know I'll know it when I see it. I don't have to figure it out right now. Things always work out for me. I'll know what to do when the time is right. I'll be guided every step along the way. Those general statements allow your energy to be clear. And all that is necessary for you to get everything that's in your vortex, or to achieve a grid that allows everything in your vortex to just flow in the perfect timing and sequence, all that's required for that is that you keep a smooth energy pattern going on. That's the power of meditation. Meditation takes you to the most general of pure vibration. When you meditate, you stop thought. When you stop thought, you stop resistance. When there's no resistance, everything can flow into your experience, you see. So the further out there it is, the more general you are. But let's say you're sitting here in this room. You know that you want to be in the chair. You've already defined that you want to be first in the chair. Now it's time to get specific about it. In other words, now something less general, something more specific, such as, I really think it will be fun to be in that chair. I really like the idea of having a dialogue with Abraham. I really like the idea of having a conscious dialogue where we're exchanging communication, where we are getting on the same vibrational wavelength and taking thought beyond that which it has been before. Much more specific conversation. For example, when you get into your automobile to drive somewhere, be present. Get real specific. I'm going to put my hands on the steering wheel. I'm going to pay attention to what I'm doing. I'm going to enjoy this moment. I'm going to engage consciously with other drivers. I'm going to have a sense of what others are doing on the road. I'm going to be at one with my vehicle. I'm going to have everything in my vicinity, in my awareness, whether I'm using my physical senses. You use your hearing much more in driving than you realize. I'm going to use my physical senses. I'm going to use my eyes and my ears. I'm going to be at one with my vehicle, but I'm going to sense intuitively what other drivers around me are doing. That's a really specific conversation that you're having with yourself. And because you're just about to get into your vehicle, it's good to be really specific. You don't want to be in that general sense. Whatever will be, will be. Things just work out for me. I think I'll take a nap while I drive up to. If you decide that you're going to give your attention to this grid and that you want it to fill in with something that feels good to you, and give it emotional words. I feel appreciation, or I feel love, or I feel enthusiasm. And sometimes you don't feel it, but as you say it, as you establish your determination, doesn't it kind of feel good when the chatter stops? When you're not trying so hard to talk yourself into it, or explain your way into it or out of it, or get somebody else to get it, or to justify it, or defend it, or to protest against it, but just feel the grid. Feel it, feel it, feel it. Reach for an emotion and find it and feel it. An emotion like peace. Or an emotion like appreciation. What does the word love do for you? If you're in the middle of something that makes you feel anger, reaching for this basis, this grid, might be harder to do. But even in your small effort at doing it, it will slow down the momentum of whatever's going on. And if you start your day by reaching for it, that really is the power of meditation. Because in meditation, as you quiet your mind, you are left with that emotional basis that will serve you extremely well. We think you understand this precisely, actually. We think we've hit upon an analogy that will serve you really well. And over the next few days, as you are deliberately creating a grid and then watching it fill in, you're going to begin to feel the power of the grid, the power of your deliberate point of attraction, the power of your alignment with the source within you. You've been listening to us. You come forth from non-physical, and before you were in this physical body, you were non-physical, and you still are. That's a familiar story if you've been listening to us for a while. And part of you came forth into this physical body where you were exploring and taking consciousness forward. Not just your consciousness, but all of us. Your exploration of contrast is causing us all to reach into these new places. And once you know what you don't want, and once you know what you do want, once you set that focus into motion, we all, from our non-physical perspective, go right there to that new place, to that new grid that your desire established. And we hold to the vibrational basis of what you have created. Because we know it from top to bottom. We know not only the results you think you're asking for, or the results that you are asking for, we know the emotional basis of them. In other words, we know the essence of what you're reaching for. And we become it and hold our focus steadily on that. So you could say that we are a vibrational, emotional grid that when you reach for the feeling place of it, the influence from us will be mighty. You'll feel it. You'll feel the power and the clarity that comes when you identify something that you desire, and that something that you are desiring is an emotional, good feeling, emotional grid. So then the next question that we ask you was, how do you think you're doing, or are you doing it consciously, forming your beliefs? How do your beliefs come? In other words, contrast causes you to become. But how do you think your beliefs are coming about? And we want to say to you that for most humans, your beliefs come about from your observation of things going on around you. So your desires are formed that way too, but who you really are radiates from that exposure to that contrast. But often, your beliefs don't make that same jump. But relative to your beliefs, and your belief is the only thing that keeps you from being a vibrational match to your desire. And what is a belief anyway? A belief is just a thought you keep thinking. A belief is a habit of thought. A belief is a pattern of thinking. It's getting a vibration going and law of attraction keeping it going because you're making no effort to change it in any way. So what happens is your desires are born easily out of your exposure to life, but your beliefs aren't changing so fast as your desires. And in most cases, it is simply because you're not aware that you have the ability to change your beliefs. You think that what is just what is. And if it is, then you ought to believe it. If you want to be factual and truthful and evidential, in other words, you shouldn't lie to yourself, is what most people say. Esther has said to us through the years, but Abraham, it's true. And we've teased her. Because something is true doesn't mean that it is something that you're wanting to give your attention to. Because giving your attention to it causes you to hold yourself in a vibrational frequency that holds you often in negative emotion, and most important, doesn't allow you to be who you really are. So now it makes a little more sense to you what we were probing at, doesn't it? So let's start again. Do you enjoy the evolution of your desire? And do you understand that your desire is always being felt by you emotionally in relationship to your belief, which is only a thought that you keep thinking? So if you want something and you doubt it, how does it feel? Terrible. You say, I felt better before I wanted it. I wish I could bring my desire back over here. But you can't. You can't stop your expansion. The only thing that you can do in order to maintain your alignment with your constant becoming is you've got to be flexible in your beliefs. And most people are not that flexible. You're not that flexible in your beliefs because there's something that you've picked up somewhere along your physical trail that says, I worked hard to come to this opinion and I'm not changing it, even though it doesn't serve me well at all. And when you think about it, there are a lot of things that you believe that you think you have no choice at believing because they are, and you don't want to be a liar. You don't want to be delusional. We want you to, but you don't want to be. And so we want to talk about changing beliefs. We want to talk about why you might want to change a belief. But more important, we want to talk about focusing on the beliefs that serve you. And in doing so, in the lack of focus on the beliefs that don't serve you, they will peter away. And as you let more and more of those unnecessary, unhealthy, unproductive, and unhelpful to you beliefs, as you let them fade away, then you're no longer doing that thing you do that is introducing resistance into your vibrational pattern that's keeping your desires from being pure. So all day today, we're going to be talking about focusing. And everything that we've ever offered to you has been about helping you allow who you've become to come forward into your experience more clearly. We have enjoyed this interaction more than words can explain. And as we just said to our friend, our favorite part of this interaction is feeling you click into place with the knowledge that you were born with, but that has expanded since you got here. It's nice to know that you never get it done. That helps when you're standing in the absence of the manifestation of something that you want. But it's also nice to know that you never get it wrong, which makes it all right to stand where you are in the absence of something that you think that you want. And we think that today you've come into a new place of understanding that what you want is for the feeling of it, and you can accomplish the feeling of it as soon as today if you want to. And once you do that, then the grid must begin filling in. We would like you to see this life experience as a veritable treasure hunt, because it is that. There isn't anything that you are deprived of, ever. Everything that you want is queued up for your realization. But you knew coming in that you wouldn't enjoy it if it got there all at once. And you knew coming in that you wouldn't enjoy it if somebody else told you what it should be. And you knew coming in that it had to be on your terms, that you would be carving it out of the details of your own life experience. And you knew coming in that if this time-space reality could inspire the desire within you, that this time-space reality has the wherewithal to deliver the full manifestation of anything that you could conjure as a result of living here. The piece that we're wanting to add to what we know you knew when you walked in the door today is that you have focused with you all day, every day, a consciousness, an awareness, a conscious awareness of the value of what you've put into the vortex before you have had the privilege of realizing the manifestation of it. We'll say that again because we really want you to hear it. We know what you've put there, and we know the value of it, even though you don't know the value of it because you're holding out to know the value of it, waiting for it to manifest first. If you can peek into the vortex through an emotional